I want to talk to you about something that probably didn't make a lot of sense a long time ago. In fact, I can't tell you how many program directors, how many stations, threatened to cancel, how many calls I got from the average listener saying, what the hell are you even talking about? When I talked about the leadership of Martin Luther King. And I have done everything I can, as much as I possibly can, to teach you about Martin Luther King and nonviolent protests. And I don't think there's anybody in the media who has talked about nonviolence longer and more in depth on commercial airwaves than me. Could be wrong, but I bet you almost in American history that might even stand up to be true. Preachers, certainly, but commercial airwaves, I don't think anybody has. Now I think many are beginning to understand why I tried to lay that foundation. I have told you since September 11th, I have this feeling that you are going to be the group of people that will, in the end, save the republic. I've always believed that. I don't know how it is saved. It might just be preserved in our hearts and in sections. I don't know, but I believe it now. I never wanted us to get to this. I mean, everything I've done is to prevent us from getting here, but everybody is so politically tied to their side that no one will let their shields down and actually listen to one another. And we're at that desperate point now. You are equipped to save the republic because you at least hopefully have a fundamental understanding of the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, and you understand at least a basic understanding of American history. More importantly, what makes this audience so phenomenal is that it is the most generous and service-minded audience of any show in America and perhaps the world. That's part of what continues to be so frustrating about the Capitol invasion last week. Because you're being maligned. I know who you are. This is the most peaceful, generous, loving, God-fearing, authentic, patriotic audience in America. And you are frustrated and you are tired of being hit in the face and called bigot and everything else, no matter what you do. I know. I've been called an anti-Semite just in the last 24 hours by everybody, unjustly. I get it. You are now being tainted by the actions of complete imbeciles who do not represent you and I. It's not fair, but that's the hand that we're being dealt. And God's in charge. He is not surprised. We know the left's current tactics fail in the long run. Silencing, canceling, taking away rights. These are the hallmarks of regime after Marxist regime on the ash heaps of history. Now, China is still there because they have taken the so-called free market, which is not free. They took the capitalist system and they combined it with their Marxist utopia. And I don't know what's going to happen to the people over there, especially seeing that our high tech has joined them to weed out the dissidents. It's not inevitable that we join them. And it is going to require us to take a stand, just not in the way that most people, especially if they're angry, think is most effective. Look at the ratings of BLM. 78% of Americans at the beginning of the summer thought that they were swell. That number is in the low 20s now. Why? Because violence doesn't work. I don't know if you saw the Fellowship of the Ring, but do you remember, if you did, when Frodo says, I don't want to do this. He's He's lamenting having to face down the evil, and he's just one guy. I'll never forget, because it was right after 9/11 that movie came out, I'll never forget Gandalf's reply. Gandalf said, "So do we all who live to see such times. But that is not for them to decide. All we have to decide is what we're going to do with the time that is given us." We can't decide what others are going to do. We can't control the dangerous Orwellian darkness that seems to be descending on America. All we can control, read Man's Search for Meaning, is our response and strive to lead by example. And by the way, if you know anyone in your sphere of influence who might be planning to attend one of these armed rallies in the coming days, beg them not to go. Do everything you can to stop them. That is not the way to take a stand. It does not protect anything that you hold dear. It will endanger the republic. It is what the other side wants. Darkness. Watch Star Wars. Yes, give in. Embrace your hatred. Don't do it. But Glenn, how do we take a stand? First thing I need you to do today, help lower the temperature next week and beyond. It has been so hard for me not to respond to people on Twitter today who have called me every name under the sun because I quoted the leading Holocaust historian last night on Tucker Carlson. But see, that wasn't an attack on me. That was an attack on Tucker. If you can scare the guests from coming on to Tucker, you destroy Tucker. That's what they're doing. That wasn't an attack on me. That was an attack on him. Do not vent your anger on social media. At this point, it is probably just going to get your account shut down. I want you to write this down. I want you to keep this in front of you. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called the children of God. That means something today, much more than it did 6 months ago. Blessed be the peacemakers. Be a peacemaker. You have to stay plugged in, and this is the hard part. You can't disconnect because things are moving too rapidly. You must stay plugged in. But I want you to reach out to someone in kindness on social media. Encourage someone. Do not engage with the darkness. Be the light in the corner of your world instead. You need to be a leader for what is to come. And I know I'm asking you almost the impossible. I know you are angry and frustrated, and it is gut-wrenching to feel like you're powerless to stop your nation from what you believe is sliding into the abyss. And I believe it too, with everything in me. I wish I was wrong. I hope that I am. I pray that I am. But know this, you are not powerless. You are not voiceless. You may be the voice, the only voice that anyone hears. Voices like mine will go away. I am trying to think of what I need to share with you before, and God forbid, if that ever happens. Because I cannot live with myself if I was talking about something stupid politically and I find my voice silenced and then saying, I wish I would have said this. I wish I would have told them this. You wield more power than you know, not because of your vote or being able to call your congressman. You're more powerful than you know because you understand the real problem in America. The real problem in America is not political. It is spiritual. And until we are humbled, when you get angry and you're like, I'm going to take this into my own, you are not being humble. You think you'll fix it. Everything is happening to us because we are an arrogant, out of control people. We must humble ourselves. Please. You have the skill and the strength to endure the fiery darts that are going to come your way or already are. But this is a problem with our heart. You cannot reach someone's head without capturing their heart. And no one is going to capture anybody's heart through violence. Start in your own home and then reach out. And if you're able, serve your neighbor. If you can, serve your local community. You must be a beacon of light in a very dark place. Boy, I'm going to ask you to do something you're really not going to like. And that's how I always know when things are from God, was when I hear something or I think something and I'm like, oh, crap, I don't want to do that. And you just know it's right. You just know, no, you know it's what God wants. And you're hoping that you're like, I didn't hear that. And he's like, yeah, you're right. I didn't notice you noticed that. And it's so horrible because it's the last thing you want to do. But God is unlike many of our churches and preachers. He doesn't tell us what we want to hear. He doesn't have to pay for the church or get collection or be judged by how many people go. He'll say the same thing, and he'll lose whole flocks, and they'll eventually start to go, oh, wait, where's the shepherd again? He's not like our preachers. He'll tell you what you have to do. And he'll tell you especially if it's the last thing you want to do.